So, hey, today it's a little low, the angle, because I lost my holder, phone holder. So this is for now. And see, I have two Xbox sensor, like the Kinect and the other one, because long story is funny. Whose home have two Xboxes? Crazy. But yeah, actually, let me start a topic today. I just finished the homework, which is about, it's really random, which is about, the topic was exactly advertising is influencing people's behavior. Something like that. Um, so it's a little funny, right? The topic like is kind of very academical, but actually no. I've been thinking about it not for a while, so I thought about it and it was just in my mind, right? So I found that a lot of people, like once in a while you will have friends, or just people, right, that come across nowhere, and they suddenly complaining about, the advertisings are everywhere, and oh, I hate being hard sell, or even I hate being sell in general, and then I don't like people approach me to sell me, and I hate network marketing people, like I hate salespeople, things like this, like you hear a lot. And some people were scared to walk into some makeup shop or walk into some stores which like to sell you, like the salespeople like to sell you. It happens a lot. I see people complaining a lot about these things, but I used to be like that, to be very honest. I used to be one of them that scared to go into some shop which I was not ready to buy something. To be very honest, it's exactly because you were worried that you would buy something. That was why you are scared to walk into it. If you have zero buying desire, or the product from that store, you would not be scared. Like, why would you be scared, right? Or maybe you just embarrassed because your pockets have no money, when they sell you, and then you just too embarrassed to refuse, reject, or whatever reason. But anyway, so I was one of those people who were scared to walk into stores because of scared of being sold. And then also I was one of those people who were not like salespeople too, because I thought they are very aggressive, and they were very money oriented, and things like this. And then later on, I evolved kind of, because every objections comes up in my mind. I would think it's it, like every principle or every ideas or everything that I believed, if when I have time, I would just take them out and rethink and analyze those ideas or beliefs that I had, and see if they were really real, if they were backed up by evidence, or if they were just opinions, very personal opinions, or if they were only opinions from other people, which I just, pick up from nowhere, and then it became my belief. It happens. So I have this habit on my own. That's why I'm really good at self-improving and reflecting. And because of that, because I constantly question myself, like my own belief. I'm not afraid challenging myself, my belief. But anyway, long story short, wow, I can see my pimple even though on the beauty cam. Oh my god, that's very serious. It's the gluten. Anyway, and sleep late too. Anyway, But now I'm not scared anymore. I could walk into any shop and feel very comfortable with it. And people could literally come to me and sell me anything. And I appreciate it, actually. Like, even though I have been in the network marketing industry for a while already, active, inactive, or semi-active, or whatever. I've been in it for a while. Actually, at a very early stage, I already developed like to appreciate like salespeople, like somehow, because salespeople are people. Like, everyone makes money in a different way. Even the beggar on the street, they beg. That's their way to make money. You can't judge on them. You could only decide pay or not pay, right? So whatever method you are using to make money, one thing you cannot escape is you spend your time, right? It's just more or less. And people buy into it, they buy into it. That's totally fine. So people in network marketing industries, yes, I agree that sometimes they are pretty aggressive, especially because they are people we know, or they are people that we used to know, and when they start to sell things to you, it's like the personality change, or we don't recognize them anymore, the person we knew, so we felt very uncomfortable, and we thought they are evil, or they changed because they're money hungry, or they lost their mind, or they're being brainwashed, whatever the reason behind it, they generate such behavior, or they change their behavior. You still appreciate it because they approach you, like, never mind they sell you thing or whatever in a good intention, or they really just want the money, or they believe in the product they want to share with you. Doesn't matter. They spend the effort and they think about you at least, because if they are not thinking about you at all, that means you're worth nothing in their mind. Either you are broke, or you're a terrible person, or whatever. If they ever approach you, that means you are a little something in the back of their head, or in the front of their head, or even maybe if you're the first one they approach, wow, you should be very proud of you. If they approach you to ask you to join their business, you should be so proud, because usually they think that your intelligence, or you have potential, or you have some kind of qualities, so they appreciate you with awareness, or you with unawareness, right? But this is the mechanism behind it. There's a reason behind it. They approach you without knowing it themselves. So I think for that, I actually appreciate it. So anyone comes to work with me to sell me things, I appreciate it. Thank you very much thinking about me and share the opportunities or products with me. Never mind you're in network marketing, or you own a store, you own a restaurant, you want me to go to your restaurant and eat, or whatever. I really appreciate it. And I would not reject or repel them or their product because I know them. Some people feel embarrassed. They don't want to have any involvement with their friends in terms of money. But what's wrong with it? The reason that you feel embarrassed or you don't like it is because you linkage money and bad things and bad behavior and evil, whatever, things like that. Or maybe you were too cheap, or you couldn't. You have the false belief that money will make everything bad. Money will break a relationship. This is all false. Money doesn't make bad relationship. Money is money. It's neutral. It's people make bad relationship. When people cannot handle money well, or when people they haven't explained everything up front because of before the transaction, or people they don't keep their promise. For example, they borrow money and they don't return money. That makes things go bad. Not the money, but the people. Okay, fair enough. Then that means that okay, that's why I don't want to go have any money relationship with any people I know. So instead of afraid buying things from friends or from people I know, I am more active into it. If I knew that you were in network marketing, or you carry some products, or you own some certain stores, I would actually especially look into it if I need anything, and then I will 100% search it within my network first. And then if the price is right, if the product is right, if this is things that I need, I would go to my friend for sure, 100%. If that person is creditable, of course, not any friend, right? You have to know that person too. And yeah, so what's wrong with it? Like, why wouldn't you you want to benefit people who you know first? Which route, if you want to say that everyone is the same, you shouldn't give privilege to people you know, but too bad, we're human, right? So why not? Like, the reason because we want to benefit or give them business first because we know them too, right? Things like that. So I know a lot of people, like, sometimes a lot of people, they just so, because of you are my friend, even though I want it, I need it, I know you carry it, I don't come to you. Like, that's so absurd, that idea. Like, that's so defensive and so negative. And what's wrong is not that person, it's not the money, it's you have problem that you are so defensive and you are so low self-esteem. Okay, come to the second part. Is like, people are scared of going to store and being sold. So why I'm able to do it right now, why I don't mind right now, is because you will not be sold because that salesperson is aggressive. You will be sold because you are weak. You are 100% eligible to say no to anything. Even though you love the product and the price is right, you could just say no because of no reason. You don't need to give a reason for the salesperson. So people feel so hard to find an excuse to escape from the sales technique or the overwhelming, fantasy of the product, all the things. Like, come on. I think it's always also come to because your low self-esteem or your lack of power, your lack of ability to reject people. You're afraid of rejection. I'm not talking about being rejected by other people in this case. I'm talking about you're afraid of rejecting people on your own. So maybe I should make a topic another time, just to share how I learned how to say no to people, because that was my obstacle throughout my lifetime for a long time. So you need to, if you have this problem that you are afraid of being sold, you need to work on yourself how to say no to people. Don't feel embarrassed, and don't feel that you value less. Don't feel like shame, or don't feel like it's your ego that you think that you feel like people will look down on you, whatever, or all those thoughts after you reject them. Oh, maybe they think I don't have money, or maybe they think I'm too cheap, maybe I don't. It's all made up from your mind. Those salespeople, they sell people like hundreds of people a day. How many people will say yes? It's just you think too much. When you left, they forgot you, right? So that's the second point, that don't be afraid to say no to salespeople. Then you will never be afraid to walk into any stores. You wouldn't feel uncomfortable. And the ultimate things that we need to learn is how to say no. Okay, for extension version of it, to say no to people, it's like, I know that it's harder to say no to people who you know, beside the people or the sales people from a strange store. It may be harder for people to say no to people who they know, the friends and family, but it should be the same thing. Treat them like normal people. When they comes to you to sell you stuff, treat them like a salesperson. If you don't need the product, you just say you don't need it. If you really feel like just to buy it because you want to support them, then do it. but don't feel bad to say no if you found out the product actually is not suit you, it doesn't suit you, or it's not for you, or you don't like it, or whatever reason you don't want to continue. Don't feel bad to tell them that you don't want to continue. So that's the whole point. It's about yourself. You could be very clean and clear and tell them what happened, why you don't like it, and you give them feedback. Please give them some honest feedback. Like I'm now making food to deliver. I always ask my clients, how's my food, are they okay? Don't tell me it's all good, because I know the Chinese only tell the good part and hide the bad one, and eventually they just drop it, without you knowing it. That's not helping at all, because you are embarrassed to tell me what's not good about it, because that you don't want to hurt me, but you don't like it, and eventually you don't want it anymore. Then does it help? Does it help? It doesn't help at all. You couldn't give me any feedback. I just tell me 3 feedback that you don't like about the food, so I could improve upon it. Or if your feedback actually is not too common, then I could ignore it too, but I would feedback on your feedback that the reason that I didn't take on your feedback is because blah 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 blah. So it's totally positive. Make every opinion and feedback, experience and conversation positive, instead of elaborate all the negative things upon it. That is not helping, and this is like ridiculous as a point. But I do understand, because I came from there too. And the third thing is, oh my god, I feel like I'm totally off topic. But the third thing is, like, if you are a salesperson, don't feel bad to sell. Some people, they only sell things to stranger, and they could lie about the product. The reason they don't want to sell their family or friends, because they're lying about the product, I guess. But some people do feel bad to sell people stuff. Like I was one of them, and I know, especially in network marketing, or like if you're self-employed, it's a lot of time it's embarrassed to ask people to buy your product. But I actually grew out from it, because I am offering an honest product. I spend my time work on it. I spend my effort work on it. I am no difference from any other business person, right? If I come to you, it's because the same idea. Just like you come to me, I appreciate it. If I come to you and you don't appreciate, that's your problem. This is your problem, that you feel like I'm making your money, unless I really approach you really aggressively without knowing what you need, or just ask you to buy, right? Then you have to look at yourself. But if you really sincerely go to them and share with them your product, what you carry, and just want to help them, or just to let them know that you carry something like this, then they should appreciate it. And it's not they should appreciate it, but if they ever have negative feelings upon your actions unreasonably, don't blame yourself. It's their problem. Usually those people need some work on themselves, and they have, I don't want to say they have relationship problems, but they have self-esteem problem, or they have some kind of issue on their personality. So don't put everything on yourself. Don't blame yourself for that. So be confident. Share with your friends and family with your products. Even though now I always back my families. I post stuff in my family group about what I'm doing, what I'm selling. I ask them for help, whatever. I tell everyone what I'm doing. I don't feel embarrassed. This is what I do. I'm very proud of myself. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's it. You have all the rights not to buy from it, even though you need my service. That's another thing. Don't expect your friends and family to have to come to you, even though your service is perfect for them, it's best for them. Don't have that entitlement that because of the relationship they should buy from you, they should support you. No. They could not to support you with no reason at all. That's totally their personal option. Please don't be silly. Come on. So anyway, so this is the point I'm at. But did we start off from is advertising is influencing people behavior? That's a little weird, but I should, okay, let me change the topic. The topic is like how to reject sales people. how how do we react on what is react on sales activities, or how do we handle or manage sales activities? Is it a better topic? So if you are sharing your product or service sincerely, so don't take any feedback personally, but take feedback sincerely as well and work on the feedback. So in Chinese saying 对事不对人, it's not about people. A lot of time it's just you think too much that the feedback is against you. Sometimes people feedback you is for the sake of help you to improve. It's talk about the product or the matter, the facts, the things that happen, or the service. So listen to it carefully. Don't take it personal. So I think the key message here in this video is, if you ever feel bad or on rejecting a salesperson, or you found hard to reject a salesperson, or you have to look for excuses to reject a salesperson, or you dislike sales activities towards you, then that actually may reflect some kind of personality that you need to work on yourself, which is you are not comfortable to say no, to reject people, which is really important. In life, there is too many decisions we need to make, and a lot of them is to say no to people. So you especially Chinese, I know we've been raised it, like be nice to people, and be Mr. Yes, Mrs. Yes, and things like that. I think in Western culture they are very comfortable to say no. A lot of them I've seen. In Chinese culture especially, a lot of us is like have the problem to say no to people. I grew up with that mentality and habit and behavior, and that problems with me for the very long time. So just to declare that I'm not a very good salesperson, to be very honest. I suck at selling things, and to handle how to reject people, to perform this technique, I would say it's a technique to reject people lately, and it feels really good, because you could be really yourself, be authentic. If you really don't want it, don't like it, you couldn't do it, then just say it. You don't need to pretend you're the Mrs. Right or the Mrs. Kind, Mrs. Nice, or whatever. You don't need to. You are you. I don't want it. That's it. Sometimes you may need to give some white lines to reject people, which is up to you. It's up to you. As long as at the end of the day, you don't force yourself to commit to anything that's you actually regret it, or you feel uncomfortable with it, or it's actually you resent it after. That's just totally not necessary. So you may want to go out to do an exercise. That's go to the most expensive store like LV, Gucci, and go in and see what happens. But maybe sometimes they're arrogant, they won't come to sell you. But just go in any regular store, and if any salesperson comes to you, and then you just pay attention, listen to them, respect them. They are people. They're making a living. They have family and people like us. Despite the technique good or not good, it's just like there's nothing to judge on. You could judge on the technique, but they're just working. Don't blame them, and and then learn to say no if you really don't want it. But I'm afraid you end up buying a bunch of stuff at home. But anyway, everything comes to practice. If you do have problems saying no to people, salesperson, or people in general, then you really be brave. work on it. Just practice how to say no. Just say no a few times, and then you get used to it. You get used to it. The first few times I say no, it took me a lot of courage, but once you did it, you're so proud of yourself because heck, you're breaking a habit for 30 something years, which is really hard. Oh my god, you know what I have just found? I have just found the holder. I was looking and it just now it's just right here up here to me. Things been really strange lately. Things I lost, it just came back out like from nowhere all of a sudden. I think that there is a mysterious force or energy is helping me.